when we're talking about what we call masala, part of what the discussion sits around is that spice on its own doesn't really give us a framework for how to understand flavour, but masala does. So masala just means spice. Actually, it means lots of things. One of my favourite comparisons is like if the Eskimos have 1,000 words for snow, Indians tend to have singular words with multiple meanings, and masala is one of those. So it can mean like, you know, spicy and sexy, like in the sort of slang sense. It can mean like just spice, masala. It can mean a spice blend. It can refer to a dish. And then there's all these other parochial meanings as well. So, but I guess for the context that we're talking about, one of the ways to understand the framework of masala is to get to understand one spice in multiple facets. So this is ginger. Hi Ginger, say hi to Ginger. We have the ginger rhizome and then the ginger powder. Now it's ostensibly it's the same spice, but within food they have completely different impacts. And so masala, over all the years of teaching, so like 7 or 8 years, I developed, I guess, a framework of categories. So I teach through 10 different categories. Traditional Ayurvedic tastes, there's 6. You look at, you know, I guess in Western, it's like 5, salty, bitter, sweet, sour, hot. I think Japanese has 7. So yeah, different cultures work on different taste frameworks. But within these 10 categories, the reason I've had to create so many is because we're talking about each category denotes the way a group of spice function in terms of the parts of the palate they stimulate, what they do to each other in the pan, and then the framework they create for a completed dish or for the entirety of masala as a whole. So fresh ginger is in the astringent and sulfuric category of spice. So fresh ginger is deemed to be wet, hot, slicing. It's stimulating. It opens the spaces into the gullet a little bit, but it opens up the olfactory space here. So if you imagine sort of a cleansing sense back through the nasal cavity and forward. For ginger powder, it falls into the warm category of spice. So warm category spice around, they're heating, but they translate feelings of nourishment and beauty. They sit in the front palate and exterior part of the face here. So they provide a lot of beauty, and beauty is a really important element in masala and in food in general. Beautiful flavour works as a contrast to some of the more difficult aromatic aspects that are implicit in regional Indian cooking. That's where the complexity comes from. But if we don't have the beauty to serve as contrast, digestion can just become quite difficult. So you can see that spice in the sense of regional Indian usage and cultural association and Ayurvedic representation, and there's lots more on the channel about domestic Ayurveda, so I'll put a few links below if the concept is new to you, requires a real system in order to translate all of those meanings outside of the context of an Indian home and into areas where those pieces of knowledge perhaps I can't assume them or presume them, that different cultures share different understanding and attach different meaning to food. But for regional Indian tradition, masala really does require a functional framework that's quite complex in order to really tell that story, and in order to provide tools to people who want to find out ways to take it on, tools that they can use in their own kitchen to begin construction of their own meaning to that more complex view of what spice can harmonise to become. So a little brief on what we call masala. the complexity, but also the potential for discovery really for anyone. Stay tuned to the channel and like and subscribe, and if it's a journey you'd like to go on, then there's plenty of information here for you to be able to piece together your own meaning into what we call masala.